Hello and welcome to another update video on the TLT. So I think it's time to update the TLT again. Haven't been able to update it for a week or so, but yeah, it's time again. Good opportunity given that we have now arrived at the next pivot, you could say, the next support area. And the idea is for the TLT that we are now in the next support zone. Now, if you watch previous updates, then you know that we were tracking here this rally into the early July high, but it was getting extremely choppy, not a 5-wave move up, looks more like a 3-wave move up. That raised awareness that this could just be a B-wave top. And if we now see further downside momentum come in, we're likely following the white scenario towards $78, possibly even lower over the coming months, in this white scenario, which might eventually take us down here lower towards potentially the mid $70 region. We talked about the long-term chart here in previous updates, but it could take us down lower before we get a larger recovery rally. Now that's the white scenario. That definitely requires further downside from here, and this count seems to be in control at the moment. It seems to be leading at the moment, Why do I say that? Well, first of all, while the initial rally from the May low was looking quite promising, and we saw a 5-wave move up, it ended up as a wave of a corrective rally, best I can tell, So we have a corrective rally only. That does not rule out further upside, but it makes it more speculative. And then the break below the trend channel indicates short-term weakness. Now, it's just, I think, important to understand that we are now in a support area from where the bulls could make a comeback. They could make a comeback. They could appear again, and I want to share with you what we need to watch out for. So I'd say the white scenario leads at the moment, and it leads as long as the market stays below this swing high that's located at $87. That's my current view. And now I don't have a high confidence wave count to work with. The reason is I don't have a 5-wave move up, and I don't really have a 5-wave move down. What I'm tracking here in the white scenario is a potential 5-wave move down in the making in wave C of the third wave. Because in a downtrend, we're also looking at a diagonal probably here. And this wave 1 of C seems to be a 3-wave move as well. So that might mean that this C wave seems to be an ending diagonal. Now, for those of you who are not so familiar with Elliott Wave, whenever we're dealing with diagonal structures, it's not super high confidence. So structures can change, morph, and it just means that there is no side that's clearly winning right now. But we are entering a support area right now between $84.22 and $85.15. I don't necessarily expect a reaction here, but I would be watching for one. I'm not trading this actively, but I'd be watching for a reaction. So if we see a 5-wave advance from here, like a sudden increase in upside momentum and a higher low, a so-called 1-2 setup, a 5-wave move up, ideally even breaking above this high here at around $87, but not necessary. If we see a 5-wave increase and a corrective pullback, that might be a reasonable long trade opportunity. I wouldn't try to go long here just speculating this is going to turn around because the initial rally wasn't a 5-wave move. Now again, that depends on risk profile, risk tolerance. But below $84, the prospects of a successful upside turnaround reduce further. But basically, I'd be watching for a 5-wave advance here. But the context itself isn't super clear, not with the 3-wave move up and the 3-wave move down. The formal invalidation point for the yellow scenario is this swing low that formed in May. That's at $83. So that gives you all the information, all the levels, and what to watch out for. Hope you enjoyed the update. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.